Hello, and thank you for watching this April 4th weather update, brought to you by Agrible, the makers of Morning Farm Report. My name is Eric Snodgrass, and I'm a senior atmospheric scientist and co-founder of Agrible. Well, the cold air we have been forecasting to arrive for the last couple of weeks is finally settled in. Morning lows on Sunday put widespread upper 20-degree temperatures across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio in the Corn Belt. In addition to all of this, last week was a wet one too. Over the last 7 days, most of the Corn Belt received at least a half an inch of rain or better, with some locations easily over an inch. The mid and southern Mississippi River Valley received quite a bit more rain, though, as a large section of the South received over 2 inches last week. This rain has fallen on saturated soils, and it is the first real sign of adversity for the 2016 growing season in this region. In concert with the cooler temperatures and the rain, Saturday and Sunday brought some incredibly fast winds, some that approached severe criteria, even though they were not associated with thunderstorms. A lot of tree damage has been reported across the Midwest, as these winds were sustained at 50 miles per hour in some places and gusted even higher. A pair of low-pressure systems moved to the southeast from Minnesota through Wisconsin and Michigan, spurred on by a sharp trough in the jet stream that was associated with what meteorologists call a tropopause fold. Essentially, a very deep wave in the flow of the atmosphere blasts across these regions and is the cause for the cooler temperatures and the wind. It was also the kick the atmosphere needed to drop some snow across parts of Wisconsin, Michigan, and northern Indiana as well. While the eastern half of the United States settled into chilly conditions, Alaska was setting records. An airport in the southeastern part of that state set a new all-time state record for high temperature in March at 71 degrees Fahrenheit. That's right, parts of Alaska were warmer than about 2/3 of the United States early this last weekend. So where is this leading us in terms of temperatures this week? Overnight lows will dip below freezing for a number of states through the first 4 days of the week. Essentially, the cooler weather that's taken over the Great Lakes region and the northeastern part of the United States sticks around for most of this week. High temperatures, though, each day do try to recover, but the cold air is firmly locked in place for the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and the Northeast. The Great Plains states are west enough of this cold air, though, that they'll be enjoying some spring warmth for most of the week. In terms of precipitation, rain pushes through the Dakotas and Minnesota on Tuesday. Temperatures could be cold enough to support some snow in the northern parts of these states, so be on the lookout for that. By Wednesday morning, a broad area of precipitation spreads across Kansas, parts of Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois, and then extends east into parts of Illinois, Ohio, and Michigan. There's another chance for precipitation on Friday before we set up for another potentially windy weekend. What I do see looking out in the long-term forecasts is a very active weather pattern, meaning regular precipitation as we move through the first couple of weeks of April. So as we wrap up this video, let's check in on the current state of El Niño. This past winter, the current El Niño peaked in intensity in December, and at that time, it was the strongest El Niño in terms of temperature anomalies in the Central Pacific since 1950. It has since been weakening and doing so very quickly. Animations of sea surface temperature anomalies show that since January, the warm pool of water has cooled significantly, and maps of surface winds have shown that the trade winds have resumed their normal flow to the west in this region. The decaying El Niño is expected to transition into La Niña conditions, which are marked by cooler than average sea surface temperatures in the Central Pacific by late summer and early fall. At the same time, the northern Central Pacific has reestablished a large region of cooler temperatures, while warmer water resides along the west coast of the U.S. and Canada. We refer to this as the positive phase of the Pacific Decadal Oscillation. Both of these features, the transitioning El Niño and the positive phase of the PDO, are important to monitor for the U.S. growing season, given that they are upstream in terms of weather systems for the United States. Even though the beginning of April will be colder than average, the likelihood of a third consecutive cool and wet growing season is very low given the events that are shaping up across the Pacific Ocean. Well, as always, we at Agrible will bring you the latest and best weather forecast information through our morning farm report so that you can efficiently plan your operations. We thank you for your attention and hope you look forward to our next weather video update. Thank you.